MOU mean Memorandum of Understanding. MOU should include the general contractual framework, type of Mudarabah, revolving or separate transactions, profit ratios, types of guarantees to cover any loss caused by the Mudarib's breach of contract or negligence, and some other issues. So it says that at the time of the contracts, all these areas will be included in memorandum of understanding, that which type of business they are going, the Mr. Mudarib will do, it will be included. Who will be the guarantor? Who will be the guarantor of performance of Mudarib? That if I am, because I am giving my capital, that is my money, to Mr. Salman, so it is my right to acquire a guarantee of good performance from Mr. Salman, that give me any person who guarantees your performance, that you will perform in better way, and provide me the guarantee that if you breach the promise, and because of your breach of promise, if I face a loss, then you will bear the loss, you will pay it, give me the guarantor. So all these clauses will be included in the memorandum of understanding in the very beginning of the contract when they are entering into the mudarabah. Okay. Number three, mudarabah contract is not binding and can be unilaterally except in two cases. There are two types of contract. Students of Islamic banking and finance must know that there are two types of contract. One is binding contract and other is a non-binding contract. Binding contract is known as aqd lazim, लाजमी अक्द, ऐसा अक्द जो लाजिम हो जाता है उसे कहते हैं बाइंडिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. द अदर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज नॉन बाइंडिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, अक्द गैर लाजिम, नॉन बाइंडिंग. The binding contract cannot be cancelled unilaterally. No party can cancel it without the consent of other party. That is binding contract. That is binding contract. Like sales, sale is a binding contract. Purchaser or the seller cannot cancel the sale contract without the consent of the other party. So here it says that Mudarabah contract is not binding. It means that from Rabb-ul-Maal and Mudarib, any party can cancel it unilaterally without the consent of other party. If Rabb-ul-Maal says that, okay, the business is done, now I'm going to finish it. Now our contract is expired. Now he is allowed. And it is also allowed that Mudarib says that, okay, I am out. I'm not going to do more business for you. So there is no Mudarabah contract. He can unilaterally take exit. But there are two cases where they cannot cancel the Mudarabah contract unilaterally. No. What are those two cases? Case number A, that if Mudarib has already started the work, the contract is binding up to the stipulated duration. That because they determine usually financial period, which can vary from business to business. Usually people says that our financial duration will be 3 months. Financial duration mean that after every 3 months we will calculate our profit, and we will estimate profit, and we will distribute, and after that financial period the next financial period will start. So if the business is in the mid of the financial period, then it cannot be cancelled unilaterally because this will harm the business. This will harm the interest of a capital provider, and Sharia does not allow to harm any of the parties. तो क्योंकि यहाँ पर ज्यादा स्टेक जो है वो कैपिटल प्रोवाइडर का लगा हुआ है कि अगर मुदारिब ये कह दे कि मैं जा रहा हूँ तो ये दरमियान बिजनेस के अंदर वो छोड़ के चला जाएगा तो फिर इसका नुकसान रब्बुल माल को होगा और शरिया जो है उसके माल का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ चाहती है. You know that the objective of Sharia is protection of property. So that is why here he is not allowed to leave the business during the financial period without the consent of Rabb-ul-Maal. The case B says, if it was determined that the contract will remain in operation for specific period, then the contract cannot be terminated before maturity date except with the mutual consent. For example, they say that we will run this business for 1 year, and after 3 months, any party want to exit the business. This is that they cannot cancel this contract unilaterally, but they can do it with the mutual consent. Otherwise, if there is a no consent, then they have to continue the business for maturity, till maturity. So these are the two conditions added with to the third point, that this Mudarabah contract is not binding, but it will be binding in these two cases. Number 4, that Mudarib is entitled to sell the Mudarabah goods at less than general market price. Mudarib is not entitled or buy goods for Mudarabah at a price higher than the common market price. He is also not allowed to donate Mudarabah funds, give loan, or waive receivables of the business without explicit permission from the financer. It can raise the point of conflict of interest in Mudarib. For example, Mudarib have to buy furniture or any asset for the business to establish office, then he have to purchase a chair, table, and fixed asset, and he can buy fixed asset on very low prices from a market. Rather buying on the low rate, he buys same asset on high prices from a specific supplier. So it will raise the objection of conflict of interest, that why Mudarib is buying asset on high prices. It can be that he has some shares from the supplier's business. It can be that he want to support his family. It can be that that person will be blood relative of him from and he want to give him advantage or the benefit on the cost of Rabb-ul-Maal. So he is not allowed to buy something costly which is has low price in the market. And same as he is not allowed to sell any asset of the business on than the market price, that he may sell something on high prices, but he sell that same asset to specific one on the low prices. तो वो किसी को माल सस्ता बेच दे या खरीदना हो तो महंगा करके खरीदे, तो इससे फिर ये जाती है बात कि भाई ऐसा क्यों कर रहा है. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि इसका अपना ही उसी बिजनेस के साथ कोई शेयर हो ताकि अपने बिजनेस को प्रॉफिट देना चाहता हो, और किसकी कीमत पर? रब्बुल माल की कीमत पर. And same as that, he is not allowed to donate Mudarabah fund, that he want to make charity, then okay, I give charity from the Mudarabah capital. He is not allowed. Why? Because Mudarabah fund is not owned by him. Mudarabah fund is as an amana in his hand. He is not allowed to donate fund because he is not owner of Mudarabah capital. वो मालिक नहीं है उस कैपिटल का, वो तो सिर्फ मैनेज करेगा बिजनेस को उसके साथ, और डोनेशन उस फंड से देना ये मालिक का काम होता है. जब मुदारिब मालिक ही नहीं है तो वो चैरिटी कैसे कर सकता है? And he is also not allowed to give loan to the third party without or ही कैन नॉट गिव डिस्काउंट फ्रॉम द रिसीवेबल्स, ना तो किसी को कर्ज दे सकता है उस अमाउंट में से, मुदारबा के कैपिटल में से, और ना ही वो उस बिजनेस के लिए अगर कोई रिसीवेबल्स हैं, मिसाल के तौर पर मुदारबा का बिजनेस कर रहा है और किसी को कोई चीज़ क्रेडिट पे सेल कर दी और पैसे उससे वसूल करने थे, तो पैसे वसूल करने में उसको कहा कि अच्छा आज जल्दी दे दो तो मैं 10% डिस्काउंट दे दूंगा, देन ही इज नॉट ऑथोराइज टू डिस्काउंट इट, क्योंकि रिसीवेबल्स का ओनर कौन है? वो रब्बुल माल है। रब्बुल माल इज द ओनर ऑफ रिसीवेबल्स, नॉट मुदारिब. So that is why he is not allowed to waive receivables of the business without explicit permission from the financer. Huh. If Rabbul Mal allows him to give a receivable, to waive or discount the receivables, or to make some charity from the Mudarabah fund, then he is allowed, otherwise he is not allowed. So the Rabbul Mal has authority to. So it means that what are the authority Rabbul Mal has? Number one, oversee Mudarib's activities. He is allowed to do it. कि मुदारिब जो है वो काम ठीक कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा. He will overlook the मुदारिब. Number B, work with मुदारिब if the मुदारिब consents. If Rabbul Mal desire that he want to work in the Mudarabah business, then he can participate or he can work in Mudarabah business if there is a consent of Mudarib. If Mudarib does not allow, then Rabbul Mal has no authority to work in that business. ये बात याद रखनी, ये बहुत अहम नुक्ता है कि रब्बुल माल कहता है बिजनेस का मालिक तो मैं हूं, फिर मेरी मर्जी में जितना काम करूं, तो कहते हैं नहीं, ये आप नहीं कर सकते. मैंने अगर पैसे दिए सलमान को कि भाई आप मेरे बिहाफ पर बिजनेस करें मुदारबा का, और वो मुदारबा का बिजनेस कर रहा है, तो मैं उसको कहता हूँ कि इस बिजनेस में मैं भी आपके साथ मिल के काम करता हूँ, तो वो कहते हैं कि अगर तो सलमान इस बात पे राज़ी हो जाए कि अबू बकर सर जो है वो काम करेंगे उसके साथ, तो अबू बकर को ये इजाज़त हासिल है कि वो काम करेगा बिजनेस में. अगर वो सलमान उसको ऑब्जेक्शन है और वो काम नहीं करने देना चाहता, तो फिर अबू बकर जो है वो इस बात का इख्तियार नहीं रखता कि वो उस बिजनेस के साथ काम करे. उसके पीछे बहुत बड़ी वजह है, और वजह ये है कि देखें जब व्हेन एवर, so why Rabbul Mal is not allowed to work in Mudarabah business with Mudarib without the consent of Mudarib? Because the Sharia says if there will be any negligence in case of loss, the loss will be borne by Mudarib. So if Mr. Rabbul Mal will intervene in the business and the business face loss, in case of loss, Rabbul Mal, it is a nature of the Rabbul Mal that Rabbul Mal will say that this loss has been caused because of the negligence of Mudarib. वो कहेगा कि भी नुकसान तो इस मुदारिब की वजह से हुआ है. But Mudarib will say that no, it is not because of me, it is because of you, because you intervene in the business. कि तुमने बिजनेस में डिसीजंस में इंटरवीन किया था, ये तुम्हारी वजह से हुआ था. Now it will be very difficult to determine whether the loss is caused because of negligence of Mudarib or because of the intervention of the Rabbul Mal in the business. So to keep the Mudarabah business clear of interference, the Sharia authorize Mudarib and give him free hand to do business and make decisions about the business. And Rabbul Mal is not allowed to intervene in business decisions. इसका फायदा क्या होगा कि अगर नुकसान होगा तो फिर मुकम्मल की मुकम्मल जिम्मेदारी रब्बुल माल पे डाली, मुदारिब पे डाली जा सकेगी. हाँ भाई आपको तो इंटरवीन ही किसी ने नहीं किया था, आप बताओ लॉस क्यों हुआ. लेकिन अगर बात बात पे रब्बुल माल आकर कहेगा कि ये काम ऐसे करना है, ये काम ऐसे करना है, तो फिर मुदारिब भी कह देगा भाई नुकसान तेरी वजह से हुआ है, अब तो मेरे ऊपर कैसे डाल रहा है. देन इन दैट केस a dispute will be caused between the two parties and the Rabbul Mal will bear the loss. तो इस वजह से वो कहते हैं डिस्प्यूट से बचने के लिए शरिया ने ये शर्त लगा दी कि जो रब्बुल माल है वो इंटरवीन नहीं करेगा. इफ यू वांट टू डू बिजनेस देन ही may get permission from the Mudarib to do that.